Hello and welcome everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing well. So let's quickly start. Great. So quick round of introduction. So good afternoon, guys. I hope you're doing well. So as you know, my name is Arpit Jain, and I'm a senior data scientist myself. I've been into industry for almost 9 years now, and I've been into multiple domains. So as you have already know, so I was part of a financial sector, a bank earlier. Then I was in a cloud domain. Then I was also in an automobile manufacturing sector. Then right now I'm in the telecommunication industry. So I've seen the place, guys. So I've been into multiple industries, right? So I mean that's the beauty of being into data science, right? So you become, I would say, partial immune to domains. So I mean you can explore the opportunities elsewhere as well, right? So that's how it actually helps you to be part of the data science domain, right? And then from the technicals perspective, I've been into data science. So if you have any questions, anything which you want to talk about regarding the work or regarding the data science as a journey, or anything which you feel like that, if you're stuck in data science and you want to move your career in data science, so definitely this is a place, guys. So we can always talk, should not be an issue, right? And as you know, I'm a motivational speaker as well. So if we have, I take career mentorship sessions. So if you have anything which you want to talk about regarding your career or regarding your, say, overall journey of your life, and then if anything, if you feel like, there is any issues regarding your career and you want to do something else, and there is, if you're stuck somewhere, so we can always talk. So I'll be encouraging you to put up your questions in the chat box, and then we can always talk. So that shouldn't be an issue. So we can talk. But I think for this one, this will be an issue. But again, we talk most of the times, right? So, but again, and yes, as from the course perspective, so we will be talking about Python. So we have been discussing about SQL as well. So SQL is again what we'll be looking forward to. So as per our agenda. So SQL and Python, these both are will be taken. So Python we have already started. So we have started with few basic functionalities of Python, right? So some odd things. We've started with functions, lambda functions, and then uh, also on the data science part. So we started with pandas. So we did something on pandas, and then we are still doing a lot of things on pandas. So today, as per our agenda, so we'll be anyway doing the group buys. So group buys, we did some exercises yesterday. So, but again, I'll just take as per the suggestions. So I'll be taking a quick recap again because we did some good exercises there. So I'm going to cover the few important pointers from group buy as the recap, and then I'm going to jump to the exercises which we did yesterday. So I'll be solving those two again, and then the remaining exercises. So that's what we'll be doing. Great. And then SQL, as I said, so SQL will be starting. So this weekend, guys, so we have the SQL masterclass. So we'll be going 4 hours live for this weekend. So 2 hours on Sunday and then 2 hours on Saturday as well. So we'll be talking about SQL. So we'll start from base and then we'll try to build up on that. So, and accordingly from the subsequent weeks, I'll try to run SQL side by side. So we'll see how we can do that. But again, at least for this weekend, we have the SQL masterclass. Okay. Great. So, and then you know, so we'll be talking about PySpark as well. So PySpark is what is expected. So, but again, right now we are into Python. So PySpark will be covered. I mean, once we are done with Python. So PySpark is more towards the big data part of Python. So we have, a lot of things there to cover as well. But again, we'll be talking about that as time comes. Cool. So that's about the course which we're talking about. And then you have the code right in front of your screen, guys, which is Python 10. And with this code, you can get a 10% off on your Unacademy Plus subscription. So I will always encourage you to take that, so you know the benefits out of it. Cool. Great. So, right. So, as you know, this Unacademy as a platform, we have introduced another platform which is called as Relevel, right? So, Relevel is basically, I would say, a unique platform which has been introduced by Unacademy. So, this is basically a test platform where the job seekers can get the dream jobs which they want, right? And then how exactly they can get that. So we'll be talking about that. But again, so the job seekers can get the dream job, what exactly they want through the Relevel as a platform. So many a times we have feel that we have realized that the candidates, they miss out on the great opportunities due to multiple reasons, right? And there could be there are a number of reasons where candidates are feeling out that they are losing out on the great opportunity, right? And there could be because the things like they don't have the better degree, or they don't have the right network, right? So many of times we have seen that the candidates are feeling that they don't have the right degree. So right degree, it means that degree from the top-notch universities, so the tier A colleges, right? So that's where I believe, yeah, that's one of the again reasons where I feel that the candidates are missing out on the opportunities, and as well they don't have the right networks, right? So basically not the good connections. So connections, as in, again, these days networking is very important, that, right? So be it LinkedIn or be it your personal network, so everywhere your networking is very important. So one of the easiest way of getting jobs these days, we have realized, is your networking. So many of times candidates are feeling that they're missing out on the great opportunities because they don't have the right degree or the right network, right? And also their resumes. So yeah, there are certain issues in the resumes as well, right? So you might be missing out the right keywords. So you're applying to jobs, but again, since there are other applicants as well for the same job, more than 100 at least, right, for the same positions, there's a neck cutthroat competition. So yeah, so there are high possibility that your resume still won't get shortlisted, right? So you even after applying to jobs, so your resume is not standing out. So what exactly the issue is, right? So resume is again one of the potential reasons where candidates are leaving out, missing out their opportunities. And then also there we have observed that the candidates, although they're applying to like a number of opportunities, like 50, 60, 70, 100, 200 jobs, still they're not getting the calls, right? So there is something, fishy, something wrong, which is happening in the background. So again, this could be one potential reasons that, you are still missing out on the great opportunities, right? So to tackle these individual challenges, so what Unacademy has done is Unacademy has introduced a new, I would say, India's first test hiring platform, right, which is known as Relevel. So this Relevel as a platform will be helping the job seekers to get their dream jobs. So I mean, how exactly you can do that? It's more of a testing platform, right? So you can get a job based on your skills and talent alone. So you're not going to be dependent on any sort of degree or any sort of networking. So it's purely based on your skills and your talent. So what exactly you're supposed to do? You're supposed to sit for an assessment. So you'll be given a choice of option for the portfolio which you want to work on. So based on your portfolio, so once you select that particular portfolio of your choice, you'll be giving the test. So there are like 5 rounds of tests in this, and you have to finish it in a day. So once you finish that test, right, so you have to, yeah, I mean, so your objective is to just focus on that test alone. So to get the best results out of that assessment. So to the best results you can get from this assessment. So that's the objective, right? And once you have the right results, I mean, the expected, marks out of this, then you have to do nothing. So you have to just sit back and relax, and the companies will automatically reach out to you. So internally, Unacademy as a platform has tie-ups with some of the unicorns as well. I'll be talking about those companies in a few minutes. But again, so internally, Unacademy as a platform has tie-ups with another organizations as well. And what they do is they'll be getting the scores once you have applied for this test, right? So whatever assessment you'll be going through based on your portfolio, right? So the assessment results will be shared with the companies which already are in tie-up with the Relevel as a platform, and they are hiring directly from the Relevel platform. Okay. So your assessment results, and we'll be filling up the details. So your entire profile along with your assessment results will be shared with these companies, and then you have to just sit back and relax and wait for the companies to reach out to you. So what it helps is you yourself are not running around here and there to companies, please hire me, and then whatever the reason is. Rather, the companies are reaching out to you. Correct. So that's the beauty of being part of this Relevel as a platform. So that's where your other things does not really matter. So it's purely based on your skills and talent. Okay, so that's basically where the importance of Relevel comes. And then apart from this, there are certain other benefits if you participate in the Relevel testing platform, right? So, I mean, there are a few benefits which I want to really highlight. Like there are over 50 plus companies, including the top startups and unicorns, which are directly in association with Relevel as a platform from Unacademy. And the startups such as Ernst & Young, E&Y, Cred, Upgrad, Razorpay, Urban Company, and many more. So many more such good companies are already in tie-up with Relevel, and they are hiring directly through Relevel, right? So as you know, so you have to just focus on your assessment, right? And based on your skills, based on your talent, based on your knowledge, your the companies will reach out to you. So they have already been, they'll be, I mean, acknowledged with your assessment reports, right? And there are 1,000+ open job positions right now across 3 different portfolios. So there are business development, front-end development, and back-end development. So it's a beta platform. So the portfolios are a bit limited right now, but again, we'll be expanding it as per the need. But again, right now there are 1,000+ open job positions across multiple portfolios: business development, front-end, and the back-end development. And along with these portfolios, there are multiple roles associated with it. I'll be giving you the few roles as well, but there are at least 1,000+ jobs available right now on these 3 different portfolios, guys. Okay, and this platform, this test assessment is completely online, and it can be taken from the control and the comfort of your home. So you can sit back in your home at your own comfort, your own ambience, right? Your own peace of mind, and then you can take it from your comfort area, right? So it's basically completely online platform, so no physical appearance is required. It's more of your assessment based on the platform and through an online channel. Okay, so everything is online. The best part of this is the entire test is completely free, so you can attempt this test for free. It's a beta platform, as I've said. So yeah, I mean, there might be few charges later on, but again, right now it's completely free. The only thing is you have to keep in mind is once you have started your test, you have to finish your test in a single day. Okay, so as I said, there are multiple rounds. There are at least 5 rounds of assessment going to be there. So once you sign up, right, so you'll get the right details about the assessment, like what question, what are the different rounds and all that. But again, so once you sign up, right, so I mean, the only expectation from you is to finish the test in a single day. So, and the date can be of your choice. And right, and again, it's just like you have to finish the entire test in a single day. Okay, and once you have given the test at your chosen date, so you have to sit back, and your assessment results will be handed over to you within a week's time. So you'll be getting the report of your mark sheets, I mean your assessment within a week's time, and at the same time will be shared with the companies as well. Okay, and once you clear the test with a qualifying score, so basically you will be able to create an amazing candidate profile, which will help you to showcase your skills and stand out from the crowd. And something that stands out is always noticed, you know that, right? So basically, based on your assessment, you will be standing out from the crowd, and that's the only way. I mean, if you're not standing out, you're still in the crowd, right? And the crowd has no heads, right? So it's basically like if you're standing out of the crowd, so based on your assessment scores, so that is where the chances are higher for you to be noticed by the companies, right? And to get the Relevel profiles, so the candidate has to actually score more than 700, and the total marks is 1,000. So the base minimum criteria is 700, so 70% out of the total marks, so out of 1,000. So expectation is to be there at least for 700. So that's the bare minimum criteria, right? So that's a qualifying criteria. So and anything more than that, it's gonna be the key, right? And also the candidates can take I would say the retest the I mean can retake the test as many times as they want. But again, right now there is a limitation in the duration. So if you have attempted the test today, so you can take a retest only after 30 days. So from the day of the test, you can take a retake of your assessment only after 30 days, and then it can go up to a number of times. So but again, so whenever you are planning to attempt the test, so be in your best shape, so revise the concepts well, and then prepare and just be available for the test. Okay, and the good thing is, guys, also the candidates will be rewarded with some exciting goodies like MacBook, iPhone, right? And many more such exciting goodies. And it will be for those who will be the highest rank holders for that particular category in a month. So if you are one of those highest rank scorers, highest marks getter in a particular category for that month, so definitely will be rewarded again with some exciting goodies. So that's again should be one of the charms. So basically with Level, you are in a unique position, guys, to have interest from companies instead of you hunting for opportunities on your own. Okay, so basically you are inviting the interest from companies. You are not going ahead to talk to companies, then please hire me, something like that. So it's like you are developing the interest on the companies on you. Okay, so and once you have the great score, you have to just sit back and relax, and the companies will reach out to you. Okay, so that's the beauty of being part of this platform. Okay, and you know this, so again, the registering on the Relevel as a platform is still quite easy. So you know the website, so relevel.com. So once you go to this particular website, so you have option to sign up. So once you sign up, so filling up the right details, so it's already there. So you what you have to do is you have to just select the test of your choice. So test as as I said, so there are three portfolios right now running. So business development, front end development, and back end developments. And as I was talking about the popular roles available. So inside business development, you can see we have sales associate, business development manager, customer engagement manager. So in the front end, we have Angular developer, web developer, front end engineer, React JS. And in the backend, we have software engineer, Java developer, data engineers, right? So these are some good designations or most, popular roles available within each of these portfolios. So based on your interest, you can choose the test of your choice. And then once you've selected the test of your choice, the next thing is you have to book a slot when you want to give the Relevel test, right? So you can see that the available dates for your test. So again, as I said, the slots are limited and I would suggest you to book it really fast because it's a beta platform. So once you see that the available, the nearest available date based on your preferences, in the available slots, just click on the slot, click on the date. And once you click on the date, so the next thing it will ask you to submit a video resume. Okay, so I'll just brief about what a video resume is. So video resume is nothing but, a video like a 30 seconds to 3 minutes of long video where you're talking about yourself. Okay, and the expectation is you are actually nicely groomed because you are going to be the part of that video. You'll be talking about yourself, right? So it's always advisable to be nicely groomed in a good background, good internet connectivity, good sound, and good video, right? So you talk about yourself, like what you have done, what are your achievements, and what are the good points about you. So talk about what you have done till date, and then prepare the content accordingly when you start recording it, right? So once you have the content prepared, it should not be like you are completely blank when you're recording this video. So be mentally prepared that you'll have to record a neat video resume. So that's something which is very important. And once you have that video resume done, so you have to just again just wait for your allotted date, so whatever you have chosen, and then be available for that particular date for your interview process, for your selection process, so for your assessment. Cool. So that's basically all about my Relevel as a platform, guys. So, and I think nothing else. So why you want to wait? So register for Relevel today. So I would really recommend that there's nothing which is stopping you right now. So you have the website relevel.com. So always advisable for you to just look at this particular link and register for Relevel the earliest as you can. Cool. Great. And as you know this, so we have one of the official Telegram channels as well. So in this official Telegram channel, so if you, I would really recommend you to join this. So once you join this, so it's basically like, you are at the one point space. So it's a 1 point connection for you. So you'll get all the updates regarding the upcoming classes, on upcoming lectures, or whatever the new things coming up on Unacademy as a platform. So on the Codeverse, you will be getting all the details right here. So this is a one-place stop for you. So always recommended, guys. So be part of this, and you're not supposed to run here and there. So you can get the details right there. Yes, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. So yep. So if you feel that you're getting benefited, do feel free to motivate us as well. So please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe the Codeverse channel on Unacademy. Great. So with this, we are in the content slide, guys. So Pandas Groupby. So we got a few suggestions that people, some of the new people joined in, so they wanted a recap in the Groupby session. So we're gonna do that quickly. So we're gonna be doing a quick recap on Pandas Groupby, and yep. So since we are recording this, so I might not be able to interact with people much, but again, let's do it like this. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a recap of my group by ASAP. Okay, so I'll try to explain the concepts again, and I'll try to solve the problems on group buys. I have a few good questions, so we solved few yesterday, but again I'll try to resolve it, and again I'll take some other questions as well. But again, if you have any doubts, right? So please keep it to yourself. So maybe we can take it some other time. But again, we'll be talking it likewise. Cool. So with this, let's jump to our content. Let me pull up that. Cool. Yes, so we are in Pandas Group by, guys. Great. So now, from now on onwards, we'll be sticking to here. So I'll be talking about the concepts of Pandas Group by. So we'll be first talking about the details, and then I'll try to solve the questions. Great. Cool. So as you know, guys, so we were talking about group bys. So first of all, let's try to understand what is the Pandas Group by. Okay, and how does the group by helps us, and why exactly group bys are important when I'm talking about uh, my individual space here. So basically group by is basically a technique, guys. So as I was talking about, where we are splitting the data in groups. Okay, so like for example, suppose that you have a data. uh, maybe some sort of data. Okay, so in that data you are not there are two ways of doing the aggregation, right? So either you can perform the aggregated functionalities or some sort of computation which you want to perform on the data, either on the complete set of data, like entire rows, entire collection of my data, or you still want to make a small chunks of it, like small pieces, small sliced out data. So you want to split it into certain groups, and on that groups you want to apply load computations. Okay, so there are certain ways of doing this, right? So we have to realize the importance of why we are first using the group by. So basically we are splitting the data into smaller groups, and on that smaller groups I'm performing some compute functions. Okay, and these compute functions could be in multiple ways. So as I said, we talked about aggregations, we talked about transformations, or we talked about filtrations. Okay, so aggregation, as you know, so we are talking about the summary stats. So some kind of summarization of my data, like you're talking about sum, you're talking about mean, you're talking about, say, some any function which you want to apply to your data, which is a summary or your aggregated value of my data. Okay, so some sort of summary stats you want to perform. So that is somewhere aggregations comes into picture. Okay, and then we have something called as transformation. So transformation basically is nothing but the group level changes. Okay, so you're using the same set of data to transform it to some other reciprocal way. So we'll be talking about transformation as well. So that's another form of my compute functions. And the third, guys, are the filtration. So basically in the filtrations we are doing about my point of interest. Okay, so like for example, I want to filter out a particular data from this set of informations from that group, or some kind of filtrations I want to perform on the groups. Okay, so we can, and then there are a few other ways also we can perform the compute functions, but these are the most prominently used functionalities over the compute functions over my group by. So we'll be talking about these one by one. But again, let's talk about the group bys first. Okay, so how the group by happens and how the data looks like, how we group it, how we extract the group, and how we do the aggregations and all. Okay, so we'll be talking about that. So for this, guys, I have first created a small data frame. So you can see a cricket data frame kind of, right? So in this, my data something looks like this. So I have, say, four groups, four columns basically, right? So I have team, rank, year, and points. Okay, so team, as you can see, I have, say, how many? So I have India, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand. Okay, so I have four different teams here, right? So I have four different teams here. And in the rank, you can see I have, say, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for each of the respective years. So I have how many years? I have 2014, 15, 16, and 17, and their respective points. Okay, so data, as I mean, when I'm looking at this data, so there's nothing fancy, right? So yeah, I'm able to understand what is this data all about. Okay, but again, there are some group level things which I can still perform on this. Like for example, I want to see, say, what is the overall statistics of only my India as a team. Okay, I want to see, say, what is the year by year points of India, or what is the highest points India has ever attained. Okay, or not India, maybe every team, what is the highest points every team has attained in their entire lifetime. So there are certain characteristics which we can perform on some set of my groups, and likewise we can find on the year also, like on what particular year which team has performed the best. Okay, so likewise we can perform some set of operations on top of this particular data, right? And that's where we can have the group by functionality in place, so we can use that. right? But again, before even jumping to that, let's try to first understand how we can first analyze this data. Okay, right? So we can, I mean, the good way to understand the group by function is to also use the data by using the sort function. So let's sort it first. Let's try to see how the sorting works here. So once you are able to understand the sorting functionality of my data frame, then you'll be better able to understand the group by functionalities, right? So let's try to see that. So for example, suppose I want to see, when I said, right, I want to talk about the data in terms of my teams. For example, I want to see India, Australia, or something like that. Okay. So let's try to see it one by one. So let's try to sort the data based on my team. So you can see this. So I have my sort values as a function. You know this already, right? And this sort value, I have an argument of by. So basically which key I want to sort in. So once I sort this data, you'll be able to see that my entire, what happened here? What happened? Team nahi hai kya? Okay, so I think I have not run this. Just a minute. Right. Okay, so now let's try to see this. So once I do a sorting on based on my team specifically, you'll be able to see that the entire data has been now sorted based on this key team, which has, where you can see this Australia as a key coming on top, and then respectively all the other data sets likewise. So for example, I have four individual keys here, four individual key elements of my individual team, right? So I have Australia, I have India, I have New Zealand and South Africa. So the entire data has been sorted based on alphabetical sorting here, because my team is a string. It's a categorical data, right? So the sorting has happened based on my individual keys, right? So here the alphabetical sorting has happened. So for example, in the same case, I can do a sorting based on any other column, right? So be it rank or be it year or be it points. So like for example, let's do it for year. Okay. So if I just replace this team with my year, okay, and I do it like this. So you can see the entire data has been now sorted based on the years. So now this team has dysfunctional, right? So we are not responsible for the sorting of team and rank and points right now. We have just arranged the data based on the, now this is a number, right? So we have just arranged the data based on the increment order of my year column. So all the 2014 rows will be coming first, and then the 2015 and then 16, right? So again, there are different ways of looking at this data. So again, we can know this, we can sort the data based on the points as well. So all the incremental ordering of my points will be happening, right? So we can do that. But again, so the important thing to note is we might be looking at individual group level information. Like for example, I want to see the performance of my team and as well as my year. So like correspondingly, the incremental order of my team as well as an year. So in that case, I have two keys here, right? So I can put two different keys in the form of my list. So I have the first key want to be my team. So I want to sort the data based on the team first. And then I want to look at individually on the years as well, right? So now if you'll see this, so inside I have Australia, and then I have 2014 and 15 sorted individually as well for individual years. And likewise for India, I have the three data points, 14, 15 and 17. I don't have 16 data for India. That's fine. And then for the New Zealand, I have again three data points, 14, 15 and 16. I don't have 17 here. Also, all the data points are now arranged in an incremental order based on my two keys now, team and year. Right? So basically you are getting a sense of information of what we are trying to solve. So basically now for me, this entire data points, like this Australia data points, is one group, right? And likewise for India, if I take that, so this is my another group. Great. And likewise for New Zealand, it's another group, and for Australia, for South Africa, this is another group. So we have multiple groups being formed on the same data frame, but we have now bifurcated or sliced it into multiple smaller data points, right? And that's the logic of using the group bys, right? So in the from the sort values, you're able to understand what a different group might look like, right? So we are arranging the data. So likewise, so what group by does is it arranges the data into smaller chunks. So in the sort values, we have still the entire data into the single data frame itself. But group by internally it splits into multiple different data sets altogether. So for this, it'll be a newer data set, and then this will be a newer data set, and the computation will be happening individually on these individual groups. Okay, so it will not be a summation of or all of my different aggregation. Rather, the compute functions performed individually on each of my different set of groups. Okay, so that's how things are happening here. Okay, so I guess there was some technical glitch, and I think we are back again. Cool. So right, so we were talking about some groups, right? So you can see this. So after doing the sort values, also you were getting I would say a smaller sense of how the group will be looking like, right? So that's how we gonna be identifying our individual groups. So you have a fair idea. So sorting also does in some sense give me a view of how the individual smaller chunks of data will be looking like, right? So this how sorting helped me. So that's why I talked about sorting. So sorting is actually giving you I would say a good sense of the data about the individual chunks which we're talking about for the group. So these are gonna be my individual groups. Okay. Cool. So that's about it. And then now let's see. So now I have the sense. I have the sense of so what kind of group I am looking at. So now the thing is I want to perform the computation on top of this, right? So let's see how we're gonna be performing the computations, right? Right. So first of all, for the computation, we have to first understand that we have to now bifurcate the data into individual groups, right? So we have to split the data, right? So splitting also is done in three different ways in Pandas. Okay. So we have the keyword group by. So group by altogether. So that's another keyword. That's a function which you're going to be using in Python. So under the, since it's a function, so we're going to be using the parenthesis here. So under the parenthesis, we can directly give the key. Okay. So key as in my column on which I want to do the grouping on. Okay. So if I want to perform the grouping to be done on team, then it's going to be the key going to be the team. Okay. Or if we're going to have the multiple keys, as I've said that I want the sorting to be done, for example, on team as well as year. So then there are multiple keys for me, right? So in that case, we have to pass the list of my keys. Okay, so that's how I'll be passing it here, right? And then there's a third way where you can use the key as well as the access. Okay, so here the only difference is I'm passing the key under my quotes here, but inside this, I'm using the key without the quotes. Along with this, I'm passing the access. Okay, so that's the only difference. So I'm going to pass the access. I'm going to pass the key here. Cool. So first हम देख लेते हैं कि हम first जब हमने apply करा था team. Okay, so now my first group by is for example the team. Okay, so I have done this. So I have done the group by, and then in the group by I've passed the key which is my team. Okay, so now this individual team, I want to see what all different data frames has been created, right? So what all different data groups has been created. So for this, to view the data, so to view the individual groups basically, so we have a function called as groups. Okay, so this is by group by object. So if you just run this, you will get a group by object basically. So let me just show it to you also, for example. So let me take this first one. So teams भी हम कर लेते हैं. अगर मैं सिर्फ ये करूंगा ना, so df.group by team करता हूँ, so it is returning me a group by, you can see this data frame group by object at, so basically a memory location where this group by object is located. So basically I'm saying that now this group by function has returned me a group by object. Okay, so in this group by object I want to see कि group by object के अंदर क्या है. हमें तो उससे मतलब है ना, हमें तो group by object से क्या मतलब है, हमें group by object के अंदर जो information उससे मतलब है, हम उसको देखते हैं क्या करता है finally. So to work on this individual group by object, so I have multiple functions also available. So we'll be talking about these individual functions. The first is I have a function called as groups. Okay. So as group by के अंदर we have a function called as groups. So just a minute. Cool. So right. So I have my groups here. So with this groups, you can see this basically group is returning me a dictionary element. Okay, so this dictionary element you are able to see now. I'll just use it for the teams first. It'll be easier for you to understand. So I first did my grouping on teams, right? So let's see the teams only. So teams का जब मैं grouping करके देखूंगा, so what I'm seeing is I'm able to see 4 different key value pairs, है ना? So you can see the 4 different key value pairs here. So the keys are nothing but my individual unique elements of my team. Okay, so we saw that we had Australia, we had India, we had New Zealand, and we had South Africa, right? So these are the 4 individual teams we had, right? So this is what is happening now. So we have 4 individual keys. So that's what the dictionary element is giving me. That's what the group by groups is giving me. Okay, so we have 4 individual keys here, and the keys के साथ जो मेरे values हैं, so basically values is giving me the list of indices where that particular key elements are present, key data points are present. Okay, so that's the objective. So you can see this. So Australia is being returned by indices 2 and 3, right? So let's just quickly evaluate this. So if I just look at the data, which is a DF here, so in this you will be able to see this. The indices of my Australia is what? 2 and 3, right? So you can see this. So indices are 2 and 3. Correct. So now let's just validate it. So if I did the indices of Australia, it is showing me 2 and 3 in the list. Correct. Likewise for India, you can see that the indices are 0, 1 and 11. So basically it is saying that the respective key elements are present under these indices. So I have 0, 1 and 11, right? So I have 0 here, 1 here, and I have all the way down 11 here. Okay. So that's where my data points for that particular key are present. Cool. So basically this groups is nothing but it's gonna be returning me a dictionary. So dictionary where जहाँ पे हमारे पास key value pairs होता है. You already know this. So key is gonna be the place where the unique elements of my key will be present. So here my key for the grouping is team. Okay. So under this team we have 4 different unique elements. So on this my individual chunks will be created. The chunks of my data will be created, right? So those chunks identifier are nothing but my teams ka unique values, right? So Australia, India, New Zealand are my unique values. So respective of these individual keys, I'm going to be having the indices जहाँ पे उन keys की value present है मेरे data frame में. Okay, so that's what it is returning me. ठीक है? So that's what the groups are. ओके सो हमने ये देख रखा है सबने. और इसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्या होता है? सपोज अब मेरे को ग्रुप्स का तो चलो की पता चल गया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया पता है, इंडिया पता है, न्यूजीलैंड पता है, साउथ अफ्रीका पता है. अब मेरे को अगर सपोज ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया का डेटा देखना है ना, डेटा आई मीन इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ अ डेटा फ्रेम मुझे काम करना है ना. सो देन वी हैव अनदर फंक्शन ऑन टॉप ऑफ ग्रुप, समथिंग कॉल्ड एज गेट ग्रुप. ठीक है. सो अगर आप गेट ग्रुप करते हो, सो गेट ग्रुप एंड देन इट इज एक्सपेक्टिंग मी अ की हियर. सो की इसमें क्या है, जब हम ये एलिमेंट बनाते हैं ग्रुप बाय का, जो इसका ग्रुप्स बनता है, इसके ग्रुप्स के की को, एनी की को वी कैन पास हियर. Okay, so if you do it like this, basically I'll just show it to you. So if you run it, you'll get only the data frame where this key is matched on the group by object key of team. Clear guys? I'm still repeating it. So this get group is expecting a key to be matched with, okay, and this key is nothing but the key which is coming from the dictionary of the group by element of the team or whatever element you are passing here as your group by key. Got it? So that's how I'm getting the chunked data frame. So the sliced out data frame. That's what I'm getting it here. Okay. So that's what it is giving me. So as my group by element. So now instead of having the entire data, I have only the smaller data where this key is being satisfied. Cool. So अब इसमें कुछ भी पास कर सकते हो आप. अब सपोज मेरे को इसमें थोड़ा सा हम कॉम्प्लेक्स कर देते हैं. सो हमने ये बोला था ना हम टीम एंड ईयर का करेंगे, करेक्ट. सो नाउ once I have grouped by based on multiple keys, say team and year, and I'm wanting to see the groups here, right? So you can see this. Now this group again is a dictionary. So as expected, it's a dictionary element. Okay, so dictionary element में हमारे key value pairs होते हैं. So now in the key I have a tuple. Tuple basically immutable element है मेरे पास because I cannot change this key anymore. And in this key I have the individual unique combinations of my team and year. So ऑस्ट्रेलिया का मेरा 2 डेटा पॉइंट्स है 14 and 15 में, इंडिया का 3 है, 3 यहाँ पर आ रहा है, न्यूजीलैंड का 3 था हमारे पास आ रहा है, एंड देन साउथ अफ्रीका का 4 था हमारे पास यूनिक कॉम्बिनेशन बन के आ रहा है ना. So this is what it is returning me as a unique combination from the keys, and the keys here are 2 keys, team and year. Okay, so I am getting it those individual keys. And इसके corresponding में जहां पे भी डेटा है मेरे पास, जहां पे भी जिस indices में डेटा है, suppose अब इन केस में क्या बोल रहा हूँ 2014 और ऑस्ट्रेलिया बोल रहा हूँ ना, तो मैं वापस से एक बार डीएफ रन करके देखता हूँ एंड लेट मी शो इट टू यू कि इसमें कहाँ पे है. So you have Australia, है ना? So Australia and year 2014. So basically this is the row I'm talking about, right? This is the only combination I'm talking about. So here my index value is 2, right? So that's what you're getting it to here, right? So now this index value will be only referred where both of these criteria will be fulfilled. Clear है? इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है. ठीक है. अब हमारे पास ये तो ग्रुप्स हो गया. अब हमें अगर गेट ग्रुप्स चाहिए, अब हमें इंडिविजुअली अब गेट ग्रुप करना है ऑस्ट्रेलिया 2014 का, तो हमने यहाँ पे वही चीज करी है गाइस. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस. सो नाउ हियर इट इज दिस गेट ग्रुप इज एक्सपेक्टिंग मी द की, ओके, and this time the key is this tuple. It's not Australia alone, it's not 2014 alone, it's the combination, it's the tuple element which is my key here, okay? So I have to pass this entire tuple element inside my get group, and once I do this, I'll get the data where both of these criteria as the key are matched from this group by element. Okay, so now I have only this particular data frame which is the point of interest which I have given from the key element which I want. ठीक है, इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है. अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं क्विकली. हमने इसको देख लिया, ग्रुप्स को देख लिया, इसमें कोई इशू नहीं. ठीक है, अब हम आइट्रेशंस पे आते हैं. सो हाउ वी गोना बी आइट्रेटिंग ओवर माय ग्रुप. ओके, सो आपको पता चल गया अब ग्रुप में हमारे पास क्या है. ग्रुप में हमारे पास की है. की बेसिकली क्या है, की के अंदर आपका जो भी ग्रुप बाय एलिमेंट, सपोज आपने ईयर दिया, तो ईयर के ग्रुप्स के क्या होंगे, बस 14 होगा की होगा, 15 की होगा, 16 की होगा, राइट. एंड यू नो दिस इज अ डिक्शनरी एलिमेंट. जो बेसिकली उसमें की है और वैल्यू है. तो मैं की और वैल्यू को, जैसे आप डिक्शनरी में आइट्रेट करते हो फॉर की वैल्यू इन डिक्शनरी एलिमेंट, आप वैसे इसमें भी ग्रुप कर सकते हो, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली तो डिक्शनरी एलिमेंट है, करेक्ट. हम वही चीज कर रहे हैं. सो हमने क्या करा, फॉर की वैल्यू और की डेटा इन द ग्रुप. सो ग्रुप क्या है बेसिकली मेरा, इज ये ग्रुप बाय ऑब्जेक्ट है. इस ग्रुप बाय ऑब्जेक्ट को मैंने नाम दे दिया ग्रुप, है ना. अब मैं सिर्फ इसके ऊपर की डेटा को जब प्रिंट करके देखूंगा, सो इट गिव मी द डेटा इंडिविजुअली. इस हर की के अंदर का डेटा क्या है ना. सो ये मेरा वन डेटा फ्रेम है. सो बेसिकली वन चंक ऑफ डेटा है वेयर द की इज 2014. This is my another chunk of data where the key is 2015. Okay, and this is my another chunk of data where the key is 2016, and the last chunk where the key is 2017. Okay, so here the key is my year, and likewise if you just do it for say here, if you do it for say team, then in this case key आपकी क्या हो जाएगी, individual countries हो जाएगी, टीम के नाम हो जाएंगे. So here मेरे पास first key would be Australia, and the data corresponding chunk data for Australia, and then India का chunk data आपका यहाँ पर है, and then respective for New Zealand, and then for South Africa. Cool. So that's my individual chunking of data. I mean internally how it happens for the group by. Clear? ठीक है, हमने ग्रुप बाय पढ़ लिया. अब हम आते हैं कंप्यूट फंक्शंस पे गाइस. सो कंप्यूट, अब हमने ये पता चल गया कि हमने ग्रुप बाय करना कैसे है, करेक्ट. अब मेन फंक्शन तो क्या है कि आफ्टर गेटिंग दिस डेटा, सो नाउ यू हैव दिस डेटा. ओके, सो आपको ये ग्रुप बाय का डेटा पता है ना. ये आपको अब अंदाजा लग गया कि हाउ द डेटा वुड लुक लाइक फ्रॉम द ग्रुप बाय एलिमेंट्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल ग्रुप्स. नाउ सो द थिंग इज, अब इसके ऊपर यू हैव टू रन द कंप्यूट फंक्शंस, राइट. सो कंप्यूट फंक्शंस क्या क्या पढ़ा था हमने. वी आइडेंटिफाइड एग्रीगेशन, वी आइडेंटिफाइड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, वी आइडेंटिफाइड फिल्ट्रेशन, राइट. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ईच ऑफ देम इंडिविजुअली. So aggregation, as I've told you guys, it's more of a summary stats, right? So summary stats में मेरे पास क्या होता है, I can take a sum, mean, max, so some sort of aggregated summary of my data, correct? So likewise, I've tried to add a smaller aggregation, so which is size, right? So I'm just counting the number of data points for each of my individual groups. So team डाल रहा हूँ मैं यहाँ पे. So टीम के ऊपर मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि हमारा इंडिविजुअल डेटा पॉइंट्स क्या है, कितने डेटा पॉइंट्स हैं फॉर ईच ऑफ दीज टीम्स, राइट. सो इसके लिए हमारे पास एक फंक्शन होता है numpy के अंदर साइज. सो आई एम जस्ट पासिंग दिस फंक्शन numpy डॉट साइज अंडर द एग्रीगेटेड फंक्शन. ओके, सो आई हैव माय ग्रुप एलिमेंट हियर, सो df डॉट ग्रुप बाय टीम, एंड अंडर दिस ग्रुप आई एम पासिंग दिस एग्रीगेट फंक्शन which is np dot size. So as soon as I run this, so you can see I have for each individual team, which is my Australia, India, New Zealand, and South Africa, I'm getting the data points for each of my columns now. Can you see this? So I'm getting the data points for each of my column. So, I mean, again, so yeah, because I have not specified any particular column in which I want to perform this action on, correct? So I just mentioned that I want it to be done for the entire data. So that's what I did, right? So that is what it is giving me here, correct? So I have just passed on this group data to calculate np.size, and it is giving me the results like this for all the available data points. Cool. ठीक है, बट हम इसको और ग्रैनुलर भी कर सकते हैं. We can go one level deep in this as well, and we can try to identify for a particular column what are the aggregated stats. Like for example, we can try to find out, say if I want to see for points, what are the statistics from a points column alone. So I want to calculate, say, sum, mean, and standard deviation, for example. Okay, so now instead of passing this entire data, which is my group, okay, so I'm just using one column from the group, which is points. Okay, so I'm just indexing the column points, and now on this points I'm passing the aggregate function, which is a list of compute functions, a list of functions where I have sum, mean, and standard deviation. So I want to have everything to be checked for the points column on individual teams. Okay, so it's not the aggregated sum or mean, it's for individual teams. इस team का sum क्या है, mean क्या है, standard deviation क्या है. ओके, सो आप देख सकते हो कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया का मीन जो है सबसे बेटर है कंपेयर टू ऑल द अदर टीम्स, राइट? सो दैट्स वन ऑफ द इन्फ्रेंस विच वी कैन आइडेंटिफाई. सो बेसिकली डेटा साइंस में क्या होता है गाइस, देयर इज नो फिक्स सेट ऑफ रूल. आपको कोई इसमें बुक में लिखा हुआ नहीं है कि आपको ये परफॉर्म करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है, ऐसे करके स्टेप्स नहीं है. यू इट्स योर इंट्यूशन ऑन द डेटा, है ना? So whatever you are performing on the data base, we call this as exploratory data analysis, right? So you're exploring the data the max you can, okay? And in this exploratory data analysis, you figure out, okay, acha, I have this data, isme Australia ka I'm seeing the mean. So basically Australia ka data point zyada. But again, there is interesting thing to note here is that sum is lesser, right? So basically number of data points are less, okay? So that's how you have to intuitively find out the information, guys, है ना? लाइकवाइज आप देख सकते हो कि न्यूजीलैंड का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन बहुत ज्यादा है. दैट मीन्स दैट द कंपनी दैट द टीम्स परफॉर्मेंस इज नॉट कंसिस्टेंट, है ना? सो सिमिलरली साउथ अफ्रीका का आप देख सकते हो कि स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज क्वाइट लेस, इज द लीस्ट. सो बेसिकली साउथ अफ्रीका टीम इज कंसिस्टेंट, right? So likewise, see, it's not about doing some summary statistics on a data, okay? ये आपका objective नहीं है. आपका objective है to get the usefulness out of these statistics. आप इसको read कैसे कर सकते हो, ये आपकी, that's when you will be called as a data scientist. ठीक है? So that's where you have to understand कि इस numbers का मतलब क्या है. So do not just run behind running the codes, okay? Do not just run behind कि आपको ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, वो भी करना है. But ultimately, even if अगर आप दो चीज भी करोगे, but you are able to get the meaningful insight of that information now. So that's your knowledge, that's your way of looking at the data, है ना? So that will make the difference, guys. Okay. But again, see, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible again, है ना? So let's try to understand that. Cool. So हमने सिंपल एक कॉलम पे इतने सारे एग्रीगेशंस को रन कर दिया. दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल. ठीक है. अब हम चाहे तो अगेन सिमिलर वे में हमने इसको एक ग्रुप पे किया था, तो ग्रुप पे नहीं करके इसी के ऊपर भी पॉइंट्स भी कर सकते हैं, है ना? तो ये भी पॉसिबल है. और इस पॉइंट्स के ऊपर एग्रीगेट ना लगा करके अगर सिर्फ इस पॉइंट्स का मेरे को मीन भी देखना है, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग दिस एग्रीगेट, वी कैन ऑल्सो कॉल अ डायरेक्ट फंक्शन ऑन टॉप ऑफ माई ग्रुप बाई इंडेक्स्ड की. दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल, है ना? सो मेरे को इंडिविजुअल टीम का सब मीन दिख के आ जाएगा. करेक्ट. अब चलो, मैंने एक नया डेटा फ्रेम यहाँ पे क्रिएट किया है. सो आई हैव अ डेटा फ्रेम हियर, सो व्हिच इज लुकिंग लाइक दिस. सो आई हैव 4 कॉलम्स A B C D, एंड देन आई हैव क्रिएटेड अ कॉलम कॉल्ड एज ग्रुप. सो ग्रुप को मैंने बाय डिफॉल्ट 2 ग्रुप्स में बाइफरकेट किया है, 0 and 1, एंड आई हैव सम रैंडम डेटा इनिशिएटेड ऑन द कॉलम्स A B C and D. ठीक है. सो नाउ द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग इज मेरे को अब इसके ऊपर मल्टीपल चीजें करनी है. मतलब सपोज आई हैव अ डेटा लाइक दिस, आई वांट टू परफॉर्म से मेरे को ए कॉलम के ऊपर सम और मैक्सिमम करना है, बी के ऊपर मेरे को मीन निकालना है, सी का मेरे को अगेन सम निकालना है, डी का मेरे को एक यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन डालना है, एक लैम्डा फंक्शन डालना है, मे बी ऑफ रेंज or maybe something else even in that case. So if you have your own function, say you have created a function using a def, right, एंड इन डेफ में आपने कुछ भी किया है, आपने एक बहुत अच्छा फंक्शन लिखा हुआ है एंड यू वांट टू कॉल दैट पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन जो उस कॉलम पे काम करे ऑन द इंडिविजुअल ग्रुप्स, है ना. आप समझ रहे हो ग्रैनुलैरिटी ग्रुप्स का आप किस तरीके से काम करना चाहते हो. यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल योर ओन यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन इन दिस एग्रीगेटेड फंक्शनैलिटी. दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ इट. ओके, इसका सिंटेक्स क्या है. सो मल्टी कॉलम्स के सिंटेक्स क्या है गाइस. सो सेम चीज. सो हम फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे, ग्रुप बाई करेंगे ऑन द ग्रुप. सो बेसिकली ग्रुप की कॉलम जिसके ऊपर आपको ग्रुप बाई करना है ना. सो हियर माय की इज ग्रुप, है ना. सो ग्रुप मेरे पास यहाँ पे दो ग्रुप है, 0 and 1 है ना. सो वी हैव टू ग्रुप्स 0 and 1. And then on these two individual groups, I want to perform multiple actions on individual columns. So A पे मैंने पास किया, कॉलम A के ऊपर मैंने क्या पास किया, I have this the list of things sum and max. ठीक है. सो आई कैन पास अ लिस्ट जो मुझे फंक्शनैलिटीज पास करनी है. सो इसमें आपने ध्यान देना है गाइस. सो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या पास किया, डायरेक्टली सम और मैक्स पास किया, है ना. सो सम एंड मैक्स मीन these are inbuilt words, so they are reserved words for Python, right? So they are the reserved words. They have their own individual meaning. So we can pass it like that straight away. Okay, what if suppose आप sum 1 पास करते हो, तो सम वन कोई रिजर्व्ड कीवर्ड नहीं है, इट विल गिव यू एन एरर, है ना. So you can only pass the functions like this, like using the quotes and the name of the function, which is inbuilt keyword. Okay, so which are inbuilt functionalities for Python. Okay, likewise अगर मैं lambda में पास कर रहा हूँ तो lambda में मुझे lambda keyword पास करना पड़ेगा, है ना. तो मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. So if I do it like this, if I run it, so we'll get the respective यहाँ पे फंक्शन. सो ग्रुप के अंदर मेरे पास ए का सम आया हुआ है. सो इंडिविजुअल ग्रुप से मेरे पास 0 and 1 आई हुई है. ए का हमने सम और मैक्स निकाला, देखा सम और मैक्स यहाँ बन गया. बी का हमने क्या निकाला है, बी का मीन निकाला था, बी का मीन आ गया. सी का सम आ गया, डी के ऊपर एक लैम्डा फंक्शन है तो लैम्डा फंक्शन आ गया. ठीक है, कोई इशू नहीं है. सो टिल हियर वी आर फाइन. सो वी डिड दिस फंक्शन. सो हमें ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्या पढ़ा था. ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बेसिकली आपका ग्रुप बाय ऑब्जेक्ट पे काम करता है. अगेन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बेसिकली आपका वो एक एक एलिमेंट्स को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहा है. सो यू आर ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग द एग्जिस्टिंग एलिमेंट्स ऑफ माय डेटा टू सर्टेन अदर थिंग. सो फॉर एग्जांपल इसमें मैं क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ, आई वांट टू कैलकुलेट द पॉइंट्स where the point should be the difference of that particular point value with the mean of the corresponding groups. Okay, so basically I'm doing कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया का डेटा पॉइंट माइनस मीन. सो क्या वेरिएंस बेसिकली मैं चेक कर रहा हूँ इसमें, हर एक ग्रुप्स का क्या वेरिएंस है इंडिविजुअल डेटा पॉइंट्स में, पॉइंटर्स जो उसको मिला हुआ है. सो आई एम जस्ट डूइंग दैट. सो इंडिविजुअल ग्रुप्स के ऊपर मैंने ट्रांसफॉर्म कर दिया. सो हर एक कॉलम्स को मैंने यहाँ पे रेंज निकाली हुई है. रेंज बेसिकली क्या मतलब फ्रॉम द डेटा पॉइंट माइनस बाई मीन ऑफ दैट कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग ग्रुप. सो मैंने इस बिकॉज इस ग्रुप बाय एलिमेंट के ऊपर मैं मीन कैलकुलेट कर रहा हूँ. सो मीन क्या होगा, इस मीन ऑफ दैट ग्रुप होगा. So I can do a transform function. So transform में I can check the transformed value, है ना, transformed value of the entire data set. Filter again. So filter आपको पता है by default. So filter we know it's a point of interest. So we are filtering out the point of interest from my data, है ना. So point of interest हम कैसे calculate कर सकते हैं. So you already know this, है ना. So point of interest में basically, so I have a group, है ना. So from this grouped elements, what are the things which I want for my computation, है ना. So for example, I have just taken a basic example here. So I only want the data points after the grouping जिसमें after the grouping I have at least 3 or more data counts, है ना. So basically मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ. So suppose मैं again यहाँ पे एक बार df करके show कर देता हूँ. अरे नहीं यार, एक बार मैं df को वापस से रन करना पड़ेगा. कहाँ गया. ठीक है, अभी मेरे पास वापस से df वही आ गया है ना. अभी मैं इसमें क्या बोल रहा हूँ कि इस डेटा फ्रेम में I want the data only where the individual groups has more than three or more than three data points. So basically आप देखोगे for Australia I have only 2 data points, right? Likewise for India I have 3, so I have third here in the last, right? And I have South Africa में I have 4 and I have New Zealand में I have 3, है ना? So basically मैं filter क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ, filter करना चाह रहा हूँ कि I want the data to be filtered out where the individual groups has at least 3 or more than 3 individual data counts. That's what I'm looking for, है ना? So अभी मैं क्या करता हूँ, अभी मैं सेम चीज को फिल्टर पे रन करता हूँ, करेक्ट? सो मैंने यहाँ पे कोड लिख रखा है इसका, हमने ट्रांसफॉर्म देख लिया, अब फिल्टर का हम देखते हैं, है ना? सो ये फिल्टर हमने यहाँ पे रन किया, सो ये हमारा डीएफ यहाँ पर है, करेक्ट? सो आई हैव द डेटा फ्रेम हियर, सो विच इज हैविंग ऑल द डेटा फ्रेम्स इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, साउथ अफ्रीका, न्यूजीलैंड. हमने यहाँ पे क्या करा, ग्रुप बाय करा, ग्रुप बाय टीम करा, टीम के ऊपर ही हमने फिल्टर करना है, करेक्ट? सो टीम के ऊपर हमने ग्रुप बाय पहले क्रिएट कर लिया. And then for each of these individual grouped elements, I want to say that when the length of x, basically x क्या है यहाँ पे, x आप देखोगे, so whatever I pass on top of lambda is my x, right? So I'm passing this group by object as my x here, correct? So basically this group by object is my x, and group by object को पता है कि वो individual data, chunked data है for that particular key, है ना? So I'm saying that length of x, so length of आप जब भी length of data frame निकालते हो तो length of आपका number of rows निकल करके आता है, right? So, and I'm saying that length of x is greater than or equal to 3. That's what I'm doing it. So, इसमें जब मैंने run किया, can you see this now? So, the data frame where the Australia was there, it has been gone, it is removed. Can you see this? So, we have this particular thing done. So, where we have removed my Australia data point where the number of data points was less than 3. Correct? So ये मेरा फिल्टर हो गया. So now okay, so अभी मैं थोड़ा सा इसमें मल्टीपल फंक्शंस भी रन करके दिखा देता हूँ आपको. So as I've said, so Python is a object oriented programming, right? So I can have multiple such functions can be run over on top of this. Now suppose on this data I want now this data to be sorted based on team. Why not? It's totally possible. मैं कर देता हूँ. So let's sort it. So let's sort, इसके ऊपर मैं sort values रन कर दूंगा. So sort values, and I want by equal to, I want it through team, so I'm doing it through team, है ना? So now I'm running this. Can you see this? Now this filtered data, which is my data frame, has been sorted based on the values. You can see this. You have Australia, which is gone. Okay, I can also have a multiple sorting here. You already know this. So, but again, I'm just giving you for an example. So I can have team, and I can have an year, for example. So multiple sorting is still possible, right? Great. And now I can, okay, so now I'm also seeing that the indexing is now distorted. So I have 0, 1, 11, 9 and all that. So I know this indexing is wrong. So I can do a reset index on top of this. Why not? So you already know this reset index में अगर मैं करूँगा, so you'll get something like this. So you'll have the original index also being copied here. So this is my original indexing and this is my new indexing, right? So 0 to 9. So all of my new indexing comes. So what if I don't want this column to be created? So this is my original index. If I don't want this column to be created, I can use a argument here. So which is like drop equal to true. If we do this, so you can drop the original indexing also. So you can get the sorted data just by having the resetted index. Cool. The only reason why I showed this, because I wanted to tell you that Python is again object-oriented programming. So you can call any function, I mean, you can call n number of function after the code also, okay, if it is applicable there. Okay, so always, I mean, you cannot call any function on top of any code, right? But again, if that particular function is applicable at the end of your compute, then yes, you can add it. You can definitely do that. Cool. So with this, we are pretty much done with the content theory part. So I believe let's take the exercises again some other day. So we'll start with this tomorrow. So we'll again solve this 2 good exercises. And then we have some good one coming up again. So we'll be solving those exercises again. So we'll be doing that. Till then, guys, thank you so much for being with me. I hope I was able to cover up the group by points, and people are pretty much confident now with the group buys. So it's a very important concept, guys. The only reason I'm explaining it again is because Yeah, it is very important, and it has most prominent usage in the industry. So most of the times when you'll be working on the data science problems, or any Python problem in that sense, group buys are most frequently used. Okay, so yeah, most of the times you have to work on the smaller chunks of data, and that's why this concept is important. Cool. Cool, guys. With this, we are pretty much, I would say, done for the day. And thank you so much for being patient. And I understand. So we'll be talking again. So for the next lecture. So not in this one. So we'll be talking in tomorrow's lecture. So we'll be going live tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. So let's join tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. And then we can interact for your questions. So tomorrow we'll be solving, guys, the problems. So problems, we'll be taking at least 5 problems tomorrow, and then I will try to take it as much as I can. So we have almost 15-20 questions to cover up on Python, on data, on group buys. So the entire week coming up, the entire week is purely for the exercises. So we'll be doing that. Great. Thank you so much, guys. And I wish you a happy evening ahead, and stay safe. And please do join tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. for our group by exercises. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.